Good afternoon, guys. I am on time and I'm feeling good that I am on time this Friday afternoon so that we can come on and talk Real Housewives of New Jersey, Real Housewives of Potomac. A lot going on. Still talking about New Jersey, still talking about Louis, still talking about text messages. Now we have Andy Cohen doing a People magazine article stating that he thinks there isn't, that Teresa and Melissa basically can figure out a way to coexist. We're hearing rumors that Margaret has said she refuses to film with Louis. And we also have Page Six running an article using Teresa's words from her Namaste podcast about her and Louis' relationship for an article to tell everyone that things are great. So those are the things that are on the agenda for today. If you guys have anything, please let me know. Put it in the comments. Hi, Deb. Let me know if you have any questions or any subjects. We can talk about them today if you'd like. I need a pen real quick, though. Again, Monique Samuels, I went back and watched her video from November that she did with Chris, where they were like upset with People magazine for running this article about them allegedly getting divorced, because you guys know why that was. Because Ashley Darby went on Watch What Happens Live and said something about it, I think is what happened. Let's see here. And then, of course, everything in this video is alleged. I'm not going to play my intro for you guys today. So everything in this video is alleged. Make sure that you guys hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on. It makes a really big difference. It's a great free way to support my channel, and it helps the algorithm get my video out to more people. So essentially, the more people that see my video, the more people that are directed towards my channels. All right, let's get into this. So allegedly there's rumors going around about Teresa and Louis' marriage. Have you guys heard these? I want to know about the real Andy's YouTube being demonetized. Was it Margaret? Do you know? So here's the thing. The real Andy BH, he is actually very much like I am, in the aspect that we both have always said, like, we can't all have the same queen. That's what he says. And I say, we can't all love the same housewives. We can't have the same favorites. We can't all stand the same people, because if so, that would be no fun. And the great thing about the Bravo community is the fact that we have so many different diverse groups of people that and genres that watch and love the Real Housewives. So it's a great community of different people, of different, beliefs and ethnicities. And it would be boring if we all had the same opinion. So it's great for us to love other housewives as long as we communicate it and do it respectfully. So he did a video, actually. I was kind of surprised because it did really hold Andy Cohen accountable to some of the things that he said at the reunion and his treatment of the ladies. And the real Andy BH was over in where's he at? Not Cuba. It was Colombia, I think. He was overseas. And this has become his job, guys. He started out in his doing videos in his car. Okay. Literally, the guy has worked hard for 3 years to build his channel. He dedicates his time to it. It is his job. It was paying him. And he woke up like a week after. I don't know what his content was after that video, but when I saw it, I was like, ooh, Andy Cohen is not going to like that. But, we can't, we're not here to make you guys, to like worry about what you guys like and what you don't like. Like, these are our opinions, these are our thoughts. We can't be penalized all the time, like, because we don't agree with one way or the other. Like, that's not fair to viewers. Like, don't we have an opinion too? I don't understand. So, anyways, he basically woke up one day and he had no strikes on his account. He had no copyright issues, nothing. His account was just completely demonetized. Okay. Which means he wouldn't be able to make any money off of his ads or his videos. And with it being his full-time job, that doesn't work. Like, you can obviously object to it, but like, just when my Instagram was hacked, Instagram didn't care. Like, they don't really care one way or the other. So you can't really just leave your income in the hands of if YouTube's going to answer your ticket or not, or listen to your objection or not. So it's kind of, there's somebody in the fam that's a computer whiz, right? And allegedly, you know, I think Margaret and Melissa, like, they share a publicist, right? So if they feel like they're both being attacked, right? It wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that they both might have, the same guy that they pay, and he's able to do things like this. That would be my only explanation. We had Melissa's old nose. She was allegedly going to do an interview with John Fuda's baby's mother. There were issues with that, but regardless, when she got online on Twitter, both her regular account and her backup account had been suspended. So this isn't just an Instagram incident. This isn't just a YouTube incident. This isn't just a Twitter incident. This is a social media. Like, the person that does it is computer whiz. It's not it's not just somebody at Instagram, not just somebody at YouTube. It's someone that's very, very smart with computers, that is very, very loyal and very much loves Melissa, and I'm sure makes a cut of the things that, he takes care of. I'm sure of it. So it's sad. Andy's going to be going, I think, to like the Patreon. He never charged a monthly subscription before, and it sucks that he has to do that. I think he's going to be starting a podcast too, if I'm correct. I'm not sure on everything, but yeah, make sure that you guys check him out and keep following him, because he's worked really, really hard to get where he's at. Let's see here, some more comments. Hi, Groovy. Hi, guys. Hi, Lindsay. Oh, thank you so much. You are so sweet to me. Hi, Groovy. I really like Andy, but a housewife, you said? But it's a housewife? Oh, yeah. It's definitely housewives. Was it a housewife, as Andy said? I don't have Patreon. So Patreon is like, you have to pay a monthly subscription. And I don't know if you get access to all of them, or if you only get access to who you subscribe to. I think that's how that works. I don't think that it was Andy. I just mean that there were, um, Andy maybe wasn't on Bravo's side, as so they care even less if the housewives attack them. Like, when we think they can't care any less about content creators, they can care less. Hey, yo 2023, miss you. How are you? She said, is a housewife from Beverly Hills franchise. Well, let's not forget, we had Kyle Richards and Melissa Gorga. I posted photos on my other Instagram that before it was hacked, of them all the way back to 2010, 2011, hanging out, partying together, social clubbing together. I think that they had a way closer relationship than anyone knew or even picked up on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. And when I posted those photos, Kathy Hilton was in a couple of them, because Kathy and Kyle were on Watch What Happens Live with Melissa. And when I posted them, Kathy Hilton basically said, I don't align with those hoes. Okay. She literally commented and was like, I forget something like, I don't know, basically something like, don't align me with these hoes. I swear to God on everything. I have a screenshot of it somewhere. I'll have to find it, because I'm getting notifications. My iPhone won't even update, because I have so much, I have so many pictures and they need uploaded. My memory's out, yada, yada, yada. Okay. And the housewife that did it is really surprised Andy. He didn't see it coming. Yeah, I don't think he saw it coming. Me either. That's because everyone thinks, oh, it's not gonna happen to me, or oh, I'm not gonna like really care about it, or well, it's like, it kind of depends on, I guess, like how, if what your reasoning, even if you don't monetize your accounts, like even if you just have a YouTube that you've worked on for a couple of years and you don't monetize it, when you lose it, you lose all of your content, you lose all of your followers, you lose all of your contacts. So it's not just, people think like, even content creators like that will go on and like not be prepared that they're going to get a lot of backlash or someone might be coming for them. They do that and then they don't realize, oh shit, even though I wasn't making money off my account, now I got to start from scratch, from zero, right? That's hard. Kathy had me laughing with her clarification on that. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Yo, for clarifying that. So as long as you guys are careful not to give out your email addresses that are linked to any of your social media platforms, because they use that to reset your password if they get your phone number, which they can get it online relatively easy. That's an entire living for content creators. So yes, it's hard. Absolutely, Deb. That's what kind of makes it difficult is like when you're in this in between stage where you're not making enough money that you can live off of, but you are trying to be on top of everything and like making content, but also staying up to date and keeping posts, and keeping contact with the people that subscribe to you and answering comments. It takes a lot of time. It is a timely thing, and so I think when you're able to get to a point where you can monetize and you can live off of it, you obviously elevate as a content creator because you have more available time, and then I think you really grow, right? It's like once you kind of take that leap. But he literally started out making videos in his car 3 years ago, and I saw him and it motivated me. So um I just feel bad for anyone that works really, really hard because it sucks when that happens, right? Like seriously, if you are a hardworking person, and that's why I get on these reality stars that don't pay people, like Dorit Kemsley that owns her homemade health nurse $8,600. Like that's bullshit. Is the world set up that rich people are rich by ripping off like the average hardworking people in their community? Because that's kind of what it feels like, Like we got Joe Gorga allegedly owing 110,000 to a concrete company that only has 200 people. We have them owing their maid over $2,000. We had people purchasing Chanel purses that couldn't get their refunds. Like, okay, if you're purchasing Chanel, you might not need to do a refund like right away, but you want your refund regardless. Like, and so it's like, oh, and the patio people that they owed 16K to. So it's like, do they just, but all of her makeup people are getting paid. All the hair people are getting paid. All of the car people are getting paid. Like everything that needs to get paid gets paid. But like in situations where it's literally people in their community, businesses in their community, hardworking average people, and they screw them. And it makes zero sense to me. Like, pay your homemade health nurse. Seriously. That's like owing the freaking church. I'm not joking. And not to mention, guys, thank you, yo. Yes, guys, please hit the like button. Imagine this. Imagine any of us, okay, being like 6 weeks before Christmas, 5 weeks before Christmas, being like, oh my gosh, I just got this great job with this, reality star housewife, and she lives in this beautiful Encino Valley mansion. And she probably went there and worked hard and, made sure she was early and stayed over. And I think how many hours she worked in like 3 or 4 days, but she was probably giving her around the hour care. She was like literally probably sleeping like in the chair next to her type situation for a couple of days. And so she charges like $100 an hour, which in California ain't shit. That's like $50 anywhere else. And Dory didn't pay the bill. So she had to sue her, and she still hasn't gotten the money. And she worked for that money way back in November. How many bags has Dorit bought since then? How many times have we seen her in, stylish name brand clothes or doing her? Why are you doing an event for the homeless, not toothless? You'll help those people, but you ain't gonna pay your homemade health nurse? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Zero, zero, zero sense. I can't make sense of that. Nope, I can't make sense of it. You want to own the Bellagio? That's cool. Like, that's a gambling debt. The Bellagio, like, even that they're like, okay, we don't need the money that bad. Like, even though it's 3.5 million, like it, we'll give you 7 years. But come on, like, pay your people. Pay your people. Pay your people, guys. How many people do we see like in New Jersey that just don't pay for their accountant? We got an accountant, we got a maid, we got things at Home Depot, we got the timber, we got the concrete, we got the patio furniture, we got the Chanel bags. I mean, and that's just the stuff that we know of, right? The accountant. Margaret allegedly has a couple of lawsuits on the people that provided the money for the house that they're living in right now that was allegedly supposed to be a flip. It was going to be a quick money maker. Then other people that they took a cash loan from. That sounds a little sketch, but those people took them to court allegedly. So it's like, Pay your accountant, pay your people. Are you guys really rich if you're really not paying like the people that you don't have to pay? Like if Melissa hypothetically doesn't pay her makeup artist, guess what? She doesn't have that makeup artist anymore, right? If she doesn't pay her hair person, guess what? They ain't gonna come back and do her hair. But with in situation patio furniture, 16K off the top, why wouldn't you think that these if you are someone selling something and you go there and they're purchasing it, what is going to be your impression of somebody that's a reality star that's on a Bravo paycheck, him and his wife, right? You're going to be like, I'm sure it's going to be no problem, right? I mean, you guys are millionaires. What's 16,000? Okay, guys. Yes, she does very much, Deb. You are very much right about that. She does not like bad press. I don't think she cares so much about the husband. I just don't. That was just my feeling from the times that I spoke with her about our separate situation. I got that feeling. And anyone that I spoke with after that conversation knows that I told them that it felt very much like no concern really towards his bad press or posts or whatever you may call it. It was really more about her. So um also, guys, so the Namaste podcast made it to page 6. I want to pull this article up for you guys. They play a clip of Teresa from the podcast because Melissa Feaster asked her. Melissa Feaster is podcast of Namaste Bitches podcast, and she and Teresa do this podcast every week. And I don't know. They still claim the New Jersey ladies are on a what is it called? A gag order. But it's like some of them are allowed to do interviews, some of them aren't allowed to do interviews. Jennifer Aiden had to take one of her interviews down, then she got to be able to put it back up. It's been really wild over there. So I was a little surprised, I guess, because I just figured they were staying away from like all topics that had to do with the press or you know, anything like that. But I guess there were rumors about the relationship between her and Louis. I hadn't really heard that. I don't think I had heard that. There's so much. Um, so they took a clip of course, they took a clip of Teresa's podcast and added it online to the article header about Teresa and Louis not having issues. Teresa said they're absolutely not having issues. She absolutely loves him. Like, there's no way that anything's going on. She doesn't want to even like acknowledge that people even try to say that stuff because then it just puts like a bad spin on everything. So I don't know if they're having problems. It doesn't really seem like it to me. She just did her cooking show. What day was it? Tuesday, maybe? She does a live cooking show on YouTube, and I heard he called her to see you next Tuesday. Oh, I did not know that. Where'd you hear that at, Deb? Um, Deb said he said he was not going to announce on YouTube since he got his channel back, but David from the Velvet Rope went off on her about his channel. Oh yeah, yes. David did. Yes. David is an attorney, so they don't mess with him too much. David was like one of the first ones to come out and support me when everything happened. And so that's why I've always had so much love and respect for him because he, you know, we messaged, he talked to me about it. He looked at the legal documents, you know what I mean, that were sent over. And he was just really, really cool with me. And I have appreciated that and respected that about him since that time on. That's why if you guys see me, I like post clips and stuff because I listen to him every week. I love David. Like, he's good people if you are good to him in return, you know? So um he can get away with like things that some of us can't necessarily do. And David has a podcast established and he's already has his Patreon established as well. So his YouTube channel, you know, I think that he obviously does well with it. He doesn't want anything to happen to it, but he knows that they're not going to probably mess with him because he is an attorney. And even if he can't do something, he has a lot of connections. Um, And you can't, you know, you can get in a lot of trouble for doing these sorts of things. So I hope that you know, it just is what it is. I mean, thankfully, David can say sometimes what maybe others are thinking. I mean, maybe he's speaking for all of us, not for all of us, but on behalf of all of us that have had to experience some sort of setback because we said something or we made content that they didn't like. Even if it was true, even if it was from a newspaper, even if page 6 posted it, you posted it and it pissed them off. And so, therefore, I mean, the Twitter, the well-oiled family machine that goes after the people in the comments. I mean, it's insane. Okay, let's talk. Oh, that must have been a little bit old. Maybe they were saying that whenever Vanessa had put that temporary lawsuit on him. Because now I'm not seeing it from page 6. Let me see. Let me go on their Instagram. Why do they make everything so hard on me? Page 6, they make everything so hard. Gosh, page 6, I swear. There's page 6 people over there that only work with, you know, some people. Let me find it for you guys. Jeez. So anyway, Teresa did her live cooking show. I thought it was really good. She made chicken parm, right? And so she does a great job of, it's kind of difficult to be by yourself, like filming and trying. You don't want to have dead air. You don't want to have a dead space, but you also don't want to repeat the same things over and over. And so therefore it's difficult to be one person. That's why you don't see a lot of one person podcasts, because it's not easy to take up 45, like literally talk for 45 or 50 minutes. So she I wonder if they took it down because I cannot even find it right now. So I think she did a really great job of keeping the flow going, explaining what she was doing, not giving dead air. They planned a phone call between Louis and Teresa, because we know, guys, in all of these situations, these phone calls are planned way in advance. They don't happen just, you know, unexpectedly like they try to make them look like they do. Don't let me forget to talk about Nene too, guys. Please, I wanted to tell you guys about that. Um, so Louis calls, you know, he's telling her he'll be home soon, and very like everything's great and they love each other. And she cooked the chicken parm, she fried it, she talked about how she used to cook with her mother and her father and yada yada yada, and she looked great and it looked professional, and I thought that she did a really good job. So it's hard to build a YouTube following regardless of who you are. So when people are like, why doesn't she have higher numbers, she's just starting out, guys. Anyone, it's hard to build numbers. It's just the way that it is on YouTube. um I also posted a video from 2016 of Michael Davenport and Melissa and Joe. I don't know if they were on Watch What Happens Live. It probably was. It was back from 2016, but I just found it comical because he had labeled it the first family of New Jersey. Like, okay, come on. Okay, Nene Leakes. Let's talk about her for a second. She came out and did it's a clip. I'm not sure exactly where it's from, but she is talking about her experience with Bravo and her last reunion and how she really felt like Bravo was setting her up and trying to almost villainize her. If you guys remember, let's go back to Nene's last reunion on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. All of the ladies wore white and it was a virtual reunion. It did have Eva in it. I think that she was pregnant or had just had a baby. Portia was in it, and all of the other ladies. Tanya was a friend of, and Marlo was a friend of. Nene said that she was told to wear a black dress. She found something she thought she would be comfortable in, something that was very beautiful. But when it came time for reunion, she realized that all of the other ladies were in white. So she reached out to Marlo. She reached out to Tanya to see what colors they were wearing, and they were also wearing white. And she said she debated. She didn't know if she should change or not. And she said she called Greg, her husband, and he told her that she needed to change into something white because the black was going, they were like basically making her a target, making her the ugly duckling, making her look like the villain. um and she did wear white. to the reunion, but it was still her last reunion after that. And I just wondered what you guys thought of that, because of the fact that we don't always know what production's doing and how they're trying to make things look like. Just like we heard that Louis and Teresa were late to Louis, or to the season finale party at Polly's house. You Production tells them what time to be places. They weren't really late, so production tells them what colors to wear. We know that. And sometimes they set these ladies up, and I feel like they try to almost mess with their head. And I'm sure that it was a lot more worse before the franchises got big and were like regulated and yada yada yada, right? Before, it was probably way more worse, way more catty. Bethany Frankel sitting back making TikToks and YouTubes, drinking wine, thanking God that she doesn't have to go on the Housewives anymore, and she's made enough money to live and take care of her daughter. And I'm like, yes, Bethany, like I am cheering that on. And she just got engaged. I get so confused with that man. I don't understand. I thought they were together, then they were broke up, and then they were back together. I don't know. See, in the beginning, it was not cool. It was not scripted. Yeah, she seems very natural. Like she's just talking. She's talking about as she's like doing it, how to do it. And I think it's great too, because people for so long kind of gave her a hard time. Like, she doesn't cook. She doesn't cook. And if you guys go back again, if you are as like historian or a Real Housewives of New Jersey connoisseur, then you know the first couple of seasons we saw them making homemade sauce in their garage with Joe Judice and his parents and Teresa's parents and Teresa. Like, they were cookers. They were Italian. So she knows how to cook. She knows how to cook. She has 4 daughters. Like, she knows how to cook. They're not eating pizza and Chinese every night, as much as people wanted to say. So, her chicken parm looked amazing, by the way. But she said she hates the smell of frying it, and I'm like with her. I hate the smell of frying food. It does smell like in your house for forever, I think. But okay, guys. Lastly, I wanted to talk about Monique Samuels. She put on her, okay, back in November, her and Chris Samuels came on and said that basically that People Magazine should be ashamed of themselves because of the fact that they came out with this article that allegedly Monique and Chris are getting divorced. And they didn't come out and ask Monique and Chris for a statement. They just came out with the article. And it was shortly after Ashley Darby, I think, was allegedly on Watch What Happens Live. And somehow, some way, she slipped something about Chris and Monique, right? In the video, Chris has his arm around her. He's like saying, like, I'm so thankful for her. You know, I was asleep for 12 years. I went to this retreat, and it was all, you know, it was like 20 other NFL men that didn't have passion, that had been retired and didn't know how to transition from, you know, football to retired life. And now, you know, he really was praising her. And now she's on a retreat by herself, and she posted a video walking along the ocean, and she's like, can you imagine being alone on this, like, you know, spiritual retreat and hearing the news, or getting a surprise, which must be the divorce filing? And she's like, I'll be home in like 4 days and I'll talk to you guys then. Like, I'm shutting my phone off. So it seems like it must have been a little bit of a surprise to her. Then we had a blind item that was released that basically said this A plus NFL habitually cheated on his celebrity slash reality star wife, and that's why she filed for divorce. So I don't know, guys. I feel bad for her. It does seem like she has a lot of passion. She's very funny. She has a lot of energy. I, you know, I don't know. I feel bad because, especially because Giselle and Robin tried to run that storyline that, you know, it was actually her that was a cheater, and she was cheating with the trainer, and the son wasn't his. And now we know that's not true. It's actually Chris being a little bit of a cheater, pumpkin eater. So, also, guys, we have Melissa and Teresa wearing the same exact outfit to each of their daughters' graduations. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that to you guys because I thought you would find that interesting. And yes, I think it was Gia's graduation, which was, yes, first. And Teresa wore a really cute cream white suit. She did a video with Melania before they left and she named the designer. And now we have Melissa allegedly coming out with photos of her at Antonia's graduation wearing almost the same exact outfit, but definitely the same exact pants, but different jacket. Yeah, people are comparing the two. And again, Gia's graduation has been several weeks. So another example of Melissa allegedly copying Teresa. Also, the or was it? I think somebody sent it to me. I think it was like the candy shop. They did Teresa and Louis' wedding, and then they did Antonia's. I don't know, her birthday or her graduation, maybe. She stole Trey's pants from her closet. Yeah. Teresa, I thought, put it together better, honestly, because it looked like her jacket looked linen, like it matched it and looked lightweight. And I felt like Melissa's jacket was a little bit harsh, even though it was cream. It's still like June, and it had shoulder pads in it, and it just didn't look seasonal. No, I'm not kidding, Groovy. I swear to God, I'm not. It's just, you can go look at, you can literally go onto Instagram. No one even has to go on Instagram. You'll look at Melissa's page. She has a picture of her and Antonia and Joe. She same pants, same exact pants on and shirt. Go look at Teresa's photos from Gia's graduation, and you will see the outfit, but with a different jacket. And I like the jacket that Teresa wore better. I think that's why everyone kind of likes the cooking show too, because it gives you a little bit of behind the scenes. When in the middle of her cooking, she kind of goes off to the side because one of the girls are getting ready upstairs, and she's telling her she hates her shoes or fine shoes and get a jacket and yada yada yada. So it was cute. I also posted, guys, a couple of videos on my Instagram that people had questions about, and they were a clip from a video of John. It was John and Joe Gorga. Well, it's Joe Gorga and John, who was realtor Michelle from Real Housewives of New Jersey, her husband. If you remember when they came on the one season, because Michelle was going to sell Teresa's house for her, her husband came on and said that Joe owed him tens of thousands of dollars, and Michelle backed it up. Do you guys remember that? Remember that Joe confronted him at the pool party, and John, the guy that was like, we had a deal, that how much money we made off vendor tickets and da 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 da. And Joe's like, we didn't have a deal. He was like, you were riding my coattails. We never had a deal. Da 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 da. And looking back, damn, again, like, really? This man really looks like he was involved in the process, because he does like a whole interview with him. Michelle and John have like their own show on HGTV. It's like I think a remodeling, reconstruction show, sort of. I think that maybe there's a little bit of unspoken competition or jealousy, because I know that allegedly Joe and Melissa had pitched a channel, something similar to like a home makeover type of deal to HGTV, and it was shut down. So I think there might be a little bit of jealousy there. But anyways, I posted a clip from an interview that John did with Joe, and they did it for the Growing with Gorga campaign. And John sat down with him for over an hour and listened to this stuff. But he tells a story about how he wanted to buy this 65 apartment unit, and it was like $2.3 million, and the bank wouldn't come through. And he found this 75-year-old man in the city who had a line of credit, did personal private loans, and he loaned him the money at 15%, but only after he went and picked him up in the city and drove him out to the apartment complex. And Joe tells the story. And on my Instagram, people are like, you have to admit Joe Gorga is a great storyteller. I'm like, yeah, because the stories that he tells aren't true. I mean, he like adds stuff. Come on. Like, it is true, but like, there's a little bit of scandal in it, because that sounds a little sketch, a little unlawful. Just saying. And his point was that you got to have balls. You got to have balls. And that's so funny, because if you heard Bo Deal's voicemail to Joe Gorga, he says something about Joe Gorga not having any balls. And I don't know if he does that on purpose, because he knows that Joe Gorga, like, Joe's allegedly says it like a couple of times in like the Growing with Gorga and how he was successful, and he got successful because he had balls and he took a chance on this 65 unit apartment building. Now it's going to feed his family and his kids and their kids and their kids. And how, you know, in 2000, it was like 2008, I think, 8 or 9, and he said like he would come home with, and he had $4 in their checking account, and he would come home to like a multi-million-dollar home. And people were like trying to align the time with when they came on the show. He said like he would give Melissa like $100 for the week and be like, that's what you have to spend. I think sometimes the credit runs out, you know what I mean? And then that's not good. A lot of Teresa wore it better. Of course, when it comes to Teresa, Teresa almost always does it better. There, I said it. I agree. I mean, whoever does it first always does it better. You can't help it, right? Um, Also, guys, Kelly Dodd coming out and speaking a lot about the Real Housewives of Orange County. I was wondering what your guys' thoughts are on her, because I'm wondering if they're going to consider bringing her back. Do you think she would come? Do you think they would ever bring her back? That interview was very telling. Thank you, Yo Yo. Yes, the interview was very telling. The whole thing can be found on YouTube, but I did post a clip. I mean, I posted on my other channel before it was hacked, more of it. I should post more for you guys, but a lot of it's, some of it is cute. He tells a cute story about him and Teresa in it. But again, it's like, how much of this is true? How much of this is really bullshit? You know, like, do we really want to align our business practices with you? Like, let's talk the hard stuff. You know, you're giving us all the good stuff that's going on, but what about when things go bad? Like, what's your savings like? Like, what's your fallback plan? Like, what's plan B, C, D? Like, I'm a planner. I'm like, in my head, I am a problem solver. Like, I think of potential problems before they happen so that I'm prepared to solve them if they happen. That's me. Like, what is the plan? Okay. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of planning going on for the future. Feel me? Right? It's a kind of like we're living a month to month. We're paying our bills month to month, right? So if Bravo puts them on pause, I think Bravo's starving them out. I think that all of them, with the exclusion of like Jennifer Aiden, Jackie, and like the new girls, they're all living paycheck to paycheck. I would think that they pretty much are living paycheck to paycheck. And I think that Bravo may or may not be starving them out. That would just be my opinion. I think that'd be the only way that they could get Teresa and Melissa to film together. Allegedly, Andy did an interview with People. Let me talk about that for 1 second. Andy did an interview with People, and he basically said that he thinks there's room for both Melissa and Teresa on the show. And I thought that was very telling. Very, very telling. He did 2 days ago. He was in People magazine. Let me see what he said. Oh, this is going back to the reunion. Did you guys also see that Melissa is selling a bag that says, I know you hate me, but try to control yourself? And she's claiming that it's going to be like the bag of the summer. I know he was just on there. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Thank you. It was US Weekly. I'm sorry, guys. US Weekly. You know what? That's so funny, Michelle. They do. And that is crazy because Kelly Dodd got pissed at Teresa about something stupid, I think. And she read a really derogatory comment that somebody had left. And I know the account because the account had been like on my stuff posting all the time. I had to like restrict them, and I never restrict people. So it says US Weekly. The headline reads, Andy Cohen admits he can imagine Teresa. Oh, darn it. Sorry. He says he can imagine Teresa or Melissa leaving Real Housewives of New Jersey. Teases fresh season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills without Lisa Rinna. Andy Cohen is giving us a Bravo State of the Union, kicking off with what Teresa and Melissa Gorga's feud could mean for their futures on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. When asked whether he could imagine a scenario and whether Teresa or Melissa don't return for season 14 of RHONJ, Cohen exclusively told US Weekly, quote, "I can imagine anything." The talk show host then admitted it's hard to picture the reality series without both of the Bravo celebrities. During the season 13 reunion, which aired last month, Teresa told her sister-in-law that she couldn't wait to never see her effing face again after today, adding, "You're leaving." Melissa, who wed Joe in 2004, previously denied that she had any plans to exit RHONJ. Quote, "I have no intentions on leaving," she said during May's episode of her On Display with Melissa Gorga podcast. Meanwhile, Cohen told US of the pair's level of hatred for each other during the reunion was at a 10, and said that watching the sister-in-law spar was one of the saddest reunion moments of his career. The Gorgas and the Giudices have had their share of ups and downs over the years, but the family drama came to a head last year over the standing strong Arthur alleged claims Melissa cheated on Joe, 43, and the Gorgas' subsequent decision not to attend Teresa's 2022 wedding. The Gorgas ups and downs, but the family came to a head last year over the standing strong author's alleged claims. Who was the standing strong author? I don't know. I mean, is Laura Lee Jensen? Oh, maybe they meant Margaret? Is she an author? In addition to commenting on RHONJ drama, Cohen teased how filming for season 13 of Beverly Hills, which began production early this year, went without Rena. He says it'll be great, it'll be fresh, it'll be new, it'll be fun. Guys, we're going to get a short ass season for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's going to be light, it's going to be short, it's going to be fighting over caviar, it's going to be nonsense, but I think that they just needed to have a soft season before they can really bring us anything. Let's see here. Rena, for her part, spoke about her negative experience filming season 12 of the Bravo series during a January conversation with Interview Magazine. So let's not forget that Rena literally texted in that she, in the middle of the night, that she was done, and she was giving interviews like this. Listen, quote, "I effing hated it this year for a lot of reasons. My mom died. We all know that. She told us of her mother Lois in November 2021, but not the biggest reason. The story just didn't get told as two-sided as I would have liked. How about that? Something has gotten to the Housewives universe because of what's going on in the world, and it's reflected in a way that fans react to the world of Housewives. And I just think it's unhealthy. It wasn't working for me. It wasn't right for me." It says, as the reinnovation author leaves her Housewives days behind, 6 women are gearing up to begin their journey with the franchise. So we're getting newcomer. I don't even know these people's names. Did you guys know they announced these people for Beverly Hills? Okay, I don't even know how to say this. It's Saide, Sylvia. Let me tell you guys who that is. Let's talk about these people. Did you guys know that they announced the 6 new people for Beverly Hills? Am I losing my mind? Am I looking at the wrong thing? I think I am. No, I'm not. Once we started shooting with women, I was like, oh, we cast the right group. He told us of newcomers. Are they talking New York? Okay, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, so they announced the people from New York. Now he's talking about New York, and then he's talking about Vanderpump. He's all over the place in this article, clearly. Jeez. Then he talks about the scandal, talks some more about Raquel. Okay, are you guys gonna be watching the Real Housewives of New York? Are you excited for that? I actually am excited for the Real Housewives of New York. So I actually am gonna look into some. He even mentions Jen Shaw is even in this article. Good God, leave that poor woman alone. Oh. Also, he says, um, although Andy has been working really hard lately between his Bravo duties and his Cyrus XM radio show and his book and all of the reunions and adding Miami, he's looking forward to taking a break in early July to spend more time with Lucy and son Benjamin. The New York native will also have more time to make cocktails with his favorite mixer, Fresca. So, guys, when we don't think that Bravo is listening to us, they're listening. The Michael Jackson song, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Hello. Didn't we just talk about this several times? Andy looked tired. Andy looks run down. Andy's doing too much. Andy's doing a book. He's doing BravoCon. He's doing Watch What Happens Live. He's doing all of the reunions. He's taking on Miami. He's doing Dubai. He has 2 children under the age of 5. He has a social life. It's not realistic. You're going to get burnt the F out. Content creators, just from talking about it on the daily, get burnt out. Like, you can't do XM radio. All of your, like, there's a lot of duties that he's doing with I mean, just to try to keep up with all of the franchises between the Housewives and Vanderpump Rules and Summer House. That's a lot for one person. As I said before, guys, they need to figure out a way to get a different host in there, and someone that maybe can host with Andy Cohen, maybe like the second host hosted Summer House, and some of the, I don't know, other Vanderpump, whatever it is, like put Andy on the top 10 rated reunions and give the other guy the other 15, and let them come together and do big events like BravoCon and things like that together, because you can't do it all or you're going to suck somewhere, and fans see it, viewers see it, and fans see it, and they heard us talking about it because we were talking about the fact that he is doing too much. And I bet Andy has few people doing a lot of his legwork. I agree with you. I think though that even no matter what his mental capacity of the go go go, I mean, New York is fast paced, and Andy Cohen's always had a lot of energy, right? We've always seen him. He was out in his 40s bebopping around at the clubs and meeting people and having drinks. But he's 2 kids under the age of 5, and I don't know about you guys, and I don't know if you forget this like when you get older, but like, damn, you are tired those first like 3-4 years. Like, you are in a constant state of exhaustion. At least that's how I've felt for a couple of years. So the idea of nightlife and social life and work and children and book deals and Watch What Happens Live, he's burnt out, and we see it. He can't keep up with everything. That's no, that it how could we expect anyone to keep up with all of that? You can't, and do a good job. Quality over quantity, bravo. Quality over quantity, right, guys? Just saying. All right, guys, if you guys don't have any other questions, we can wrap up today. I don't think I had anything else for you guys. No updates really on John Fuda either. Kind of quiet over there on his camp. Melissa's Big Nose did do a live on Twitter where she discussed why she had to cancel her live interview with Brittany, and she discusses the issues of Brittany still being in a halfway house, and sort of putting a target on her, really is what it does, and it's going to make a real bad enemy for her. So I think that she is just trying to do the right thing now for herself and for the kids. And this, sorry, I was just reading this crusty posting, how she wants people to check into Trey Fab 2022. Love Gabriella, Housewife Historian 2 or 3. This one has had to rebrand herself. Ha ha ha. What? Like, girl. And then the other one, Bravo Slurs. Like, girl. Oh my gosh. And it looks like she went up to somebody else. It says this person attacked my friend Jack, wanted him doxxed, talked about having cancer, doxing others, insults Teresa's daughter, and is a racist and homophobic. Why is she still on here? Oh my. This is from Alyssa's Old Nose, and this is from how long ago? Let me see here. I don't think that long ago. 1 hour ago. So it looks like the purple-haired bandit I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Sometimes I have to really, I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay, it says your account has been locked. Oh, so her account, remember Melissa, not Melissa, Melissa's old nose, her account was blocked the night of that she was going to do the interview with John Fuda's girlfriend. And this says, I had you blocked on here until you talked about a child. So I unlocked you to tell you what a effing see you next Tuesday you are, but you must have missed it. You've attacked my friends repeatedly. So yes, you're on my radar. And she put the gray purple hair bandit put, yeah, I missed it because you're never tagged me. Grow a set, Indianapolis. So I don't know what all is going on here, but I have seen the DMs about the woman who had cancer, and they were very much terrible, and they were from the camp and basically telling her that her life wasn't worth living. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, people are definitely picking up on Teresa and Melissa in the same outfit for graduation. Now it's all over Twitter. Oh, man. Oh, man. Why does she do that though? Doesn't she knows everyone is going to see it? Like why? Why would you do that? You know everyone is going to see that. Everyone. And they're going to put you on blast for it. It's like she asked for it and then she gets mad. Okay, so now Melissa says, according to Margaret and Melissa and their bots, I'm Dave Jensen, Laura Jensen, Jen Aiden, Louie, and three others, plus someone at the Sun and paid. Yeah, girl, me too. I'm allegedly paid too. I don't know who's getting my paycheck, who's been taking my gift cards, but I'm whoever. Maybe Louie don't know my address or something. Like the Gorgas, they got my address, but maybe my paychecks aren't making it because they don't got my address. So if that's the case, and I'm just my gift cards are getting like returned to sender, let me know. I'm happy to provide it. I'll provide my Cash App. I'll provide my Venmo. Like, please pay me. Come on now. Like, seriously, these people are crazy. We like know of a transaction with a $500 Walmart gift card, and it certainly wasn't to me. I can't speak for anyone else, but it wasn't for me. And I can speak for Trey Fab because Trey Fab came out the same time when all this stuff stirred up, and she like stuck up for me and really rode the first 2 weeks out with me. She's a Kardashian wannabe. She is with the peace signs, especially. I also want to tell you guys though, Martinis with Eddie posted Kathy, Kim, and Kyle in the same room having fun. Andy, where's the camera? So they are, it looks like in Colorado, it's the girls and their mother singing karaoke, dancing around, probably have a lot of drinks in them. But Kyle says she doesn't drink anymore. She's the one singing though. So just saying, it was a short clip. I think somebody's getting married, but I'm not sure. Probably one of the girls. Okay, guys. Well, I hope that you have a great day. Happy Friday. And we will chat soon. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure that you follow, subscribe, turn your notifications. What was your answer, Prairie? I'm so sorry. Did I miss your question? Is it true the rumor that Teresa will leave the show if Melissa stays? I don't know if that's true. I am going to say it's possible that Teresa could be pitching to other networks. It's very possible. It's very possible that Bravo could give her a spinoff to keep her happy while everyone else is on pause because she is, kind of like the staple of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, whether any of the production likes it or not. And so if they're really trying to just um I almost want to say like not beat down the women, but like show them who's boss because they feel like they've gotten out of line and they've put them in time out. I know production was pissed when Melissa allegedly was doing all of those podcasts at the beginning of the season. They were calling, texting her and telling her to stop, and she was just ignoring them, rejecting the calls, like, and just doing podcast after podcast after podcast. Um, and then Teresa won't film, and now they're hearing Margaret won't film with Louis, and I think that producers get annoyed, and so they put them on pause, and they're starving them out, knowing that everyone needs their paycheck. If they're living paycheck to paycheck and they can't pay their bills, they surely aren't going to be able, because this is like getting laid off. This is like you walking into work and getting laid off. You're going to be hungry for work in about 6 weeks at least, right? You're going to be like ready to get along with whoever you got to get along with to go back, because money is tight unless if you get something else going. So I almost feel like they'll give Teresa like a special, like they've done Candy in the past, like they've done Kim Zolciak in the past. They'll give her a special, like a 3 or 6 part special maybe, and that would help keep them filming, keep them in a paycheck while they starve out the other woman. That's would be my guess. And then, of course, when they come back, when she gets done with the 6 part filming, then maybe feeling good about herself, feeling like bravo, whatever, then maybe she'll be more willing to film with Melissa. I don't know. I've never known, like, I don't, we know that Teresa can't say, I don't want to, I can't, I'm not filming with her anymore. Like, we know that it doesn't matter on the Real Housewives. Like, you really can't say that as like you might say it for an event. You might say it for a girls trip. Like, Jackie sealed her demise when she didn't go on that girls trip over that rumor with Evan. Like, producers were pissed, and it was like she should have went on the girls trip. There's an expectation that you're going to be in situations with women that are mad at you or that have bad mean things to say about you, because it's the housewives. So you can't be upset when it happens. Like, you have to expect that it's not rainbows and butterflies, that you're going to, these things are going to happen. And she couldn't separate that for some reason. She was very maybe just fragile at that time, and we saw that on camera quite a few times. So um I don't know what they're going to do. I don't even think they know what they're going to do. But I think that one thing they want to do is keep Teresa happy and keep Teresa paid. And Teresa makes them a lot of money with NFL commercials and endorsements. Like, that's the thing. She's a big money maker. She's a big ticket item. Caroline Manzo, she wanted to come back at this around the same as what Teresa was getting paid. You can't do that, Caroline. This woman's out here. She's taking all kinds of deals. NFL, Dancing with the Stars. She's making money for Bravo. Every time she does those events, Bravo gets part of that pay. So who do you think they would rather have? Someone like Teresa, or someone that's on Instagram selling a generic face scrubber? Okay, like, come on. I'm just saying. And so, in order to keep her happy, keep food on her table, take care of her girls, they're going to college. They're going to give her some sort of spinoff or special so that it will keep her paid until they can starve the other ladies out into compliance. Right. And if they starve Melissa out bad enough to compliance, maybe she'll like be a little nicer to Teresa, and then maybe they'll get along. I don't know. I just know that anytime in the past, it has not gone well when one person refuses to film with another. You really technically cannot do that in the world of housewives. And so that's why it's hilarious if Margaret is really trying to say that she doesn't want to film with Louis, because of the fact that Louis called your son at work. Your son's like 30 some years old. Like, lady, come on now. But like, you don't even get, like, you're ridiculous. If I'm not being mean, but if you're like on Margaret Joseph's level, you especially can't go around telling producers who you're going to film with and who you're not going to film with. Like, you didn't have a great year. I'm not being mean, but she didn't have a great year. And we really didn't see a lot from her at the reunion either. Like, yeah, she's funny sometimes or whatever, but we didn't get a lot from her. We got Jen Fessler from her, and like, some people were praising Jen Fessler, and I'm like, okay, she was okay, but I surely don't want to see her full time. Please don't put her on full time, guys. Please. Thank you. Yeah, so let me know what your thoughts are. I hope that answered your question, Prairie Flower. I think that Teresa is a staple for wow, didn't even know that producers were upset about Jackie not going on that trip. You always have the tea, LOL. Yes, they were upset about that. If you guys remember, she was like, you would have thought that, I mean, and again, that's the thing. It wasn't even like the women were mad at her. Nobody was mad at her. She was just so upset about the rumor about Evan and Teresa saying it at Evan's birthday party. Like, she could not get past it that whole season. And she felt vindicated in not going. I feel like she felt like, and it's like, girl, like, what did Bethany do? Bethany set up a camera at a freaking hotel and caught Luann's husband, soon to be husband, whatever, Tom, making out with another woman and told it to her on national television. And you're mad because Teresa mumbled a little rumor about your husband at his birthday party to the people that you're filming with? Like, how about thank you? It gave you a storyline. You should have used it. You might have still been on the show, but instead you got upset, you cried, you got mad, you wanted production to do something, then you don't want to go on a girls trip because of it. Like, you can't be like that. That's not housewives material. It's not housewives material. It's not. Margaret badmouthed Jackie to producers and said she wasn't housewife material. I think that too, but I think it was more that Margaret used her ED as an excuse. And I do think that I actually did say she needed to go down to at least a friend of after that season, because she did come off like she was very fragile, like crying about it and being upset. Like, I don't know. She took that so badly. And like I said, Bethany caught Tom and took photos of him and showed Luann on TV. Like, the ladies have followed men places and tried to film outside their room. And like, I mean, what about, I will always remember Married to Medicine, Dr. Jackie, her husband. What is his name? I cannot remember. Things were not good in their relationship. There was a cast trip to someplace tropical, I think. And like the day before, a photo came out of him, Miss Jackie's husband, with some young thing getting on an airplane. And if you guys don't remember, I'm pretty sure they were going to get divorced. But Dr. Simone wasn't going to let that happen. I love Simone. But yeah, he literally, like, and she is an educated doctor with a practice, and like the embarrassment of having to deal with your husband out here with some young thing getting on an airplane traveling with this girl while you got a cash trip. He's supposed to be filming with you. You're supposed to be on a class trip or a trip, and it was actually like a marital trip, if I remember correctly. And he doesn't come, and they end up reconciling, and I think that they have a stable, healthy relationship now. But imagine picking up the pieces on camera after something like that. I mean, it's terrible. You guys got to remember, like, Jackie didn't really have it that bad. She really didn't. The ladies, she had Melissa, she had Margaret. I mean, I'm just saying, it didn't make sense for her to be so upset, so fragile, so like, come on. Like, again, you're welcome for a storyline. Like, and if Teresa wouldn't have done that, I don't know what the season would have looked like, because we wouldn't have had a whole lot to go off of, if you remember correctly. It was basically kind of like this season. We heard a little bit about a woman we never met who allegedly was hooking up with Evan at the gym. And we heard a lot about Joe Giudice, who was deported to Italy. So I'm just saying, you need to know what to expect when you're going on the Real Housewives. You got to be able to understand that they don't want you to get along. They want you to fight. They want you to make good TV. They want you to call each other out. They want that. If not, they literally, all of them say, like, then you just sit there. They'll make you film for like 4 or 5 hours, to the point where you're like, what do you just want me to say at this point? Yes, a bug a wolf. Yes, a bug a wolf. Jennifer Aiden, too funny. Even her after show is hilarious, guys. She can be really funny. I love her. I want to see Andy Cohen treat her like a queen next year at the reunion. Give her first chair maybe, or something. Because I don't think that they put enough on her word. Like when she says that, like when she said Margaret was the one that told the rumor about Jackie and Evan. I believe that, guys. Joe B told us that. If you guys don't remember, he told the boys at boys' night that it came from his house, and they still didn't want to believe it. Like, you guys are just believing what you want to believe at this point. Like, we didn't see any receipts. Again, somebody brought up a great point that at the reunion, they didn't show the receipts of the text messages between Jacqueline Laredo and Jackie Goldschneider. Why? Why didn't they blow them up like they blow up everything else and put it on the screen? Melissa read them from a phone. That was sketchy to me. If you guys don't know, these DMs and these messages that came out allegedly from Louis and a content creator were proved to be fake because the black blue check mark was missing by his name and his name wasn't underlined in the conversation. So people can copy and paste messages. I'm not saying that those messages were copy and pasted or that the ones that Melissa was reading were copy and pasted. I'm just saying, like, we need to see the conversation and see the thread if you're going to read it. Margaret said, producers, no one wanted to film with Jen too. I think that is why Jen was more on the sidelines this season and because of Bravo. Very possible. Very, very possible. And when she says nobody, who does she mean? I don't think probably Rachel, Melissa, and Margaret. They don't want to film with her. Danielle, I don't think has a problem with her. I was surprised Danielle wasn't more I don't know. I think we thought that she was gonna be a little bit more one-sided and almost, Danielle did come in to try to get to know all of the ladies. And she did, say nice things about Melissa and wanted to learn a little bit of the biz from Melissa. But it feels like Rachel is more loyal to Marge and Melissa than Danielle is to Jennifer and Teresa, unless if it's different behind the scenes and we don't know it. It's possible. So I don't know what we're going to see next season, guys. I don't think producers necessarily know what we're going to see. I'm sure that they're in the works, they're in the talk, they're starving the ladies out. Like, they're going to come back. They're going to be back. They're going to be filming it. We don't know when. So you got to stay in your lane. You got to behave yourself. You can't be out in these streets of Instagram and Twitter just running amok, right? You got to come in when the porch light comes on, when the street lights come on. You can be staying out all night like Margaret does online, habitually, allegedly, right? No, you gotta listen to Daddy. When Zaddy Cohen says it's time to come in the house and turn your cell phone off, turn your tablet off, you gotta do it. And if you don't, you get in trouble. Your punishment is your paycheck. So sit down, be quiet, leave these content creators alone. Stop sending them stuff and stop hacking in accounts and stop allegedly demonetizing people. Like, just stop it. Just stop it. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a great day and have a great weekend. I'm going to be talking Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think we have a new episode come out. I did talk about the OC because they had a new episode that come out, but I'm not getting a lot of people aren't really loving the Real Housewives of Orange County yet. So maybe once they've been on for a little bit, they get a couple seasons or a couple episodes under their belt, and Shannon and Tamara kind of relax around each other. I think that hopefully we're going to get a little bit of a better season than last year. Maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I kind of liked Dr. Jen. She was a hot ass mess. She was like, now she's getting a divorce from Rye, and I think they're a really beautiful home. They like lived in a beautiful home, like on the bay, by Catalina Island. I can't remember the name of the area, but it's a very expensive, very beautiful landscape. And I saw like that they were filed for divorce and had put their house up for sale. So I'm like, why didn't they bring her back? Remember, there was like a lawsuit against the sugar daddy. There was another lot. There was a couple lawsuits. So. Okay, guys. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. I can't wait for Miami either. Yes, Miami. Check this out too, guys. Larsa and Jordan have a podcast now, and you should go check it out because they're talking relationship goals. I think they have like 4 episodes. And they talk about how they meet and how they didn't know each other prior to meeting. And allegedly, Larsa, it was just put in the papers. I think her divorce was finally finalized and she's getting 50% of Scottie Pippen's retirement. And if you guys don't know the story about how everything transpired, there used to be a cap in the NBA, like that they could only pay a player so much money. What was it, like 8 million or something? And Scottie Pippen, obviously Michael Jordan's right-hand guy, they offered him a deal, which was good if the cap was 8 million. But then next year, when it came time for Michael to make his deal, they took the cap off, and I think they paid him like 80 million, right? Scottie's like pissed. I don't know if he was ever compensated differently or not. We don't really know. If you watch the documentary, you know, they talk about how he just took like his knee surgery in the middle of the season because he didn't care because he was like so frustrated about how dirty they did him on his contract. But to hear Larsa talk, she says they had investment. So I don't really know what their financial situation's like. I don't know how good Scotty was with money. There was a little girl online who knew Scotty and had grown up with him as being her uncle Scotty because her mom had befriended him in high school or something, and she came from a wealthy family and they lived in LA, I think. And so he came out there to stay, and they were like family friends for a long time. She had pictures of Larsa and them on family vacation. She said she never liked Larsa. Larsa kicked her out of a VIP section at a restaurant or an event that she was at, that Larsa was there. I like Larsa too, Groovy. It's okay. We're allowed to like her. So yeah, I love the whole cast of Miami too. I actually met Nicole in New York, on Bravo Con Eve. I have a photo with her. I really liked her. She was really sweet. She's very tiny in person, like very skinny, very petite. And she was like in this little outfit, and it was like New York City in November, and she was freezing her ass off waiting for the elevator. And it was so funny because the Gorgas were actually, remember how I told you guys at the Gansevoort, when you have to get an elevator, like you're in a smaller hallway. And to the right of us was the Gorgas, which was like Michelle or Joe and Melissa and their like entourage of people. And it's like they kind of recognized her and her kind of recognized them, but it's like they wanted her to speak to them first. And because she didn't, I could feel like Joe like staring at her, like, aren't you gonna acknowledge who we are? You know what I mean? And her assistant just like got on the elevator and went upstairs, like, and gave 0 Fs. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, she's super nice. I like her. And she's really pretty. And she's a doctor. And she gives 0 Fs. Like, it does seem like her and her mother drink a lot. But other than that, you know, she's great. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.